Greetings, fans and collectors alike. I'm your host Crazy, and you are watching PowetToys.
Action figures.
With the impending release of the live-action Transformers movie, we have finally come to the second most important stage of the movie's release, aside of course from the release itself. And that, as you might be wondering, is of course the release of the toy line. That being said, we'll be taking a look at Leader Class Optimus Prime. He's a big figure. He runs about $35 to $40 at your local Walmart, Target, Toys R Us, and pretty much anywhere else that will sell you a toy. I guarantee you this toy line is going to be everywhere this summer, so keep an eye out. I really want to get to the figure itself right away, but before I do that, there's a gimmick right on the front, and I can't resist these little try me signs. So, if you look right in the middle of his chest, there's this little lever. You're going to pull it down, and the pieces of the chest slide together, and you can see these are actually the two windows for the cab of the truck. And when we let go, gotta love light and sound effects. Pretty neat. But like I said, let's get right to the figure. Now, I'm going to start right off the bat by saying that this figure is near masterpiece level. And that's probably not going to be a popular comment, but this figure really has it all. It has rubber tires, it has articulated fingers, electronic lights and sounds, a very complex transformation, super articulated, and it's loaded with gimmicks. Particularly the automorph technology that is included with a lot of the movie figures. And I'll show you that, I'll show you one piece of that right away, because when you take this figure out of the package, his feet are not actually transformed. So let's take a look at that, and it's one example of why I feel this figure is near masterpiece level. You can see the feet actually form the grill to the front of the truck. To transform them into the feet, you actually pop the light and bumper down like this, and then you swivel the upper part down, and you see the toes fold right out, and it forms this nice big foot with lots of surface area. It makes for a very stable figure and lets them stand very well. We'll do the same thing on the other foot, and just very cool. I mean, that's just a foot, and it's pretty neat, if you ask me. In addition to that, like I said, the figure is loaded with gimmicks, and he has a cannon on his arm right here. I'll zoom in once more. So here's the cannon. And on the inside of the wrist, you'll see this little slide. And we move this cannon out by sliding this along. One of the things about the movie figures is that they don't have guns. Their weapons are actually part of their bodies. And this is an example of that. And you can see the gun just flips right out. And this missile actually fires. So, watch your eyes, kids. Now, this cannon actually detaches very easily. And I'll say too easily. It attaches right here on this little piece of plastic, and it pops off just like that, very, very easily. And you are guaranteed for that to pop off during the transformation. So it's almost better to take it off before you transform the figure. Otherwise it might pop off, and you might lose it if it goes under a table or couch or some other piece of furniture. Not that I've ever done that. Let's take a look at the transformation. Now, like I said, this is a very difficult transformation, so most of this I'm going to do from the side, and hope that you can get a good feeling of how this is actually transformed. So I'm going to take this blaster off right away. There we go. Alright. And first thing I'm going to do is work on the arms here. And I'm going to pop this out so it's straight like that. And then on the underside of the wrist is a little panel that pops out, and then you can fold the fist into it, into this little compartment that hides away, and then you flip the panel back up. And then we're going to just push this little tab down on both sides, and this little shoulder piece is going to come up and cover that little piece that we just folded down. So it'll look like that. And before I forget, we want to put the part of his gimmick was this little lever in the center of his chest. We want to pull this all the way down, and it will lock in place. And that will keep the head hidden and the chest together, so we can worry more about the rest of the figure. And we are going to position the arm, whoops, we're going to position the arm so that this piece is actually flush with this piece. So bring that all the way over here. Simpler said than done. There we go. Alright, and we're going to have this like that. So I'm just going to do the same on the other side, a little quicker and hopefully a little more visible. So we're just going to flip this up. Hide away the fist. And bring it flush to this top piece. Like that. Okay, great. Next comes the legs. Now, this is sort of difficult, but these two back wheels here are going to flip down. They actually fold out. It's very difficult to get a good view of that, but I'm just going to hope that you can figure that out and just see that it comes down. There's actually a little clip in there, but it's almost impossible to see with a camera. So we're just going to do the same thing on the other side and bring this down. Okay, and then what we're going to do is, if you can see this piece right here, where the legs attach right here, we're going to flip that down. We're going to keep the legs down as well. That gives us plenty of room in this area to move these pieces and these pieces around. So let's work on these pieces next. We're just going to flip these down. Of course, these will fold out so as not to block the legs. And that will all fold down once once again. And up. And now that this is out of the way here, we're going to flip this entire shoulder piece around. Just like that. And you can see the side of the truck forming, which is very exciting when you're actually transforming it. And just like I did on the other side, we'll flip this out of the way. Then bring this down. And bring it around. And then bring the whole shoulder piece around as well. You can actually see the top here. We're just going to make sure that these fit together well, and they do. We are in good shape. And you can see these pieces right here. There's a little tab right there that's going to slide in underneath this little side piece. And that's all we do. I just did the same thing on the other side. So you can definitely see the cab forming. Next, we are going to pull the legs forward. Actually, before I do that, we want this midsection piece that the legs are attached to go back. But try to keep the legs down. Okay, good. Now we move the legs forward. And we'll start to separate these back wheels from the front. So let's work on the front here. Now, you can see these little kneecaps that Prime has. Those are actually going to become the top of the hood. So we're going to fold these out. Bring them out just like that. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Apologies if you can't see this. It's very difficult to make this work here. Okay. And before I forget, we're going to transform the feet back. Okay, good. And we're just going to bring the leg up. No need to get it set in place. We're just going to bring it up and make sure it's in position. We can make everything connect together in a minute. Okay. Everything is more or less in place in the front. So we're just going to push together on the sides. Make sure the front is aligned properly. I'm going to push these side pieces in. There we go. And here's the front of our cab. Very cool. Now, the back is pretty simple. We're just going to bring this up. And it pretty much just snaps right in place. And then we push the two back pieces together. And there is our Peterbilt truck cab. And you can see right here, that's where that little clip is for the arm cannon. So we can put that back on. Right there. And it just sort of points inward, so no harm, no foul. Now, this really is an outstanding alt mode. Very realistic looking. Could easily pass for an alternator, and just another reason why I tend to think this is very near masterpiece level. Now, on the back here, I'm not sure if this is an undocumented feature or what this is, but the back section here can flip up. Not sure if that's like a shield or the like or what that is, but I thought it was worth noting all the same. With that said, I am all out of time. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me at crazy@powet.tv. And remember to check out PowetTV for all of your news on gaming, comics, toys, music, movies, and a whole lot more. Until next time, kids, remember, open your toys or get off the road.